back to Kdramas Decoded, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of your favorite K-drama. Episode 3 of My Bias. My boss picks up with Darium and her boss, the Apello CEO, getting caught in a dangerous situation during a sudden storm. What starts as a chaotic night eventually becomes a major turning point for both Apello's fashion show and the relationship between Darium and her cold, intimidating boss. The episode begins with Darium and the CEO parting ways after work. Since it is late and raining heavily, he insists on taking her all the way to her house instead of letting her walk alone. Although Darium thanks him, the CEO is clearly concerned about her tendency to let her guard down. Later, the CEO suddenly experiences what feels like a strange physical reaction. He wonders if something is wrong with his heart, only to realize that the coffee he drank might be responsible. Since he normally does not drink coffee, everyone around him is surprised. Meanwhile, Apello is preparing for its annual employee awards. In a surprisingly hilarious moment, the CEO ends up choosing himself as the company's outstanding employee. The employees immediately call him out for using his position to satisfy his own ego. But things quickly become more serious. The CEO questions Darium about how much she knows about the situation surrounding the company. Before she can properly answer, he tells her that she is fired. Darium is devastated. However, she soon wakes up and realizes the whole thing was just a nightmare. The mood changes dramatically when Apello receives news that an unexpected torrential storm has hit the area where the company's fashion show is scheduled to take place. Roads are blocked, strong winds are damaging the site, and the company still does not know the full extent of the damage. The CEO immediately takes control. He orders the safety personnel to be deployed and tells everyone to secure or remove any equipment that could become dangerous in the strong winds. When they arrive at the site, they discover that the weather has already caused serious problems. But there is one person who has gone above and beyond. Darium has arrived early and is desperately trying to protect Apello's clothes and equipment from the rain. She is completely soaked, but she refuses to stop because she knows how much work everyone has put into the fashion show. When the CEO finds her working alone in such dangerous conditions, he becomes angry. He tells her that the area is unsafe and asks what she thinks she is doing there by herself. Darium apologizes and explains that she was simply worried about the company's assets and wanted to save whatever she could. Instead of continuing to argue, the CEO joins her. The two of them work together to secure the clothes while the storm continues around them. Darium tries to stay positive, even joking that the wind has started to calm down and that the rain might stop soon. The CEO looks at her in disbelief when she starts smiling despite the situation. Darium tells him that even when things are difficult, people should smile because sometimes pretending that everything is okay can actually make things feel better. That moment clearly affects him. Afterward, Darium offers him some bread and tells him to eat. The CEO, who has been worried about her putting herself in danger, tells her not to do anything like that again. For him, her safety comes first. But just when it seems like they have managed to save the situation, another disaster hits. Several brands that were supposed to participate in Apello's fashion show suddenly cancel their agreements. BRB, Sourcebody, Sweetheart, and 9203 all decide to pull out. The CEO is shocked because he had personally contacted the brand representatives and reassured them that everything was fine. Someone apparently leaked information about the fashion show to rival company SE. This raises an even bigger question. Could Apello have a spy inside the company? The CEO initially becomes suspicious because the information seems too specific to have leaked accidentally. Someone must have known what was happening almost in real time. One employee suggests that Darium could potentially be connected because she previously worked for SE. But the CEO refuses to believe it. After all, Darium had been at the disaster site since early morning, risking herself to save Apello's clothes. The CEO also receives confirmation that Darium managed to protect a significant amount of the company's clothing from the storm. Unfortunately, the fashion show itself appears to be finished before it even begins. The clothes that were supposed to be sold at the event will now have to remain as inventory. Everyone is disappointed, but the CEO refuses to give up. He tells the team that the show will still happen the following day. There is just one problem. They no longer have a proper venue. So the CEO comes up with an unconventional solution. Apello will hold the fashion show online. Instead of canceling completely, they will transform the company's studio into a runway. 4 cameras will be fixed in place, the models will walk against a white background, and the focus will remain entirely on the clothing. At first, the team worries that the small space will make the show look boring. Then Chan, the famous actor and fashion director who is also connected to Apello, comes up with an idea. He suggests using projection mapping. Each participating brand has its own concept and identity, so the team can project different visuals onto the white walls behind the models. That way, the background can change according to each brand, while the models continue walking through the same physical studio. The CEO immediately likes the idea. With less than a day to prepare, everyone gets to work. The marketing team announces the online fashion show, the production team prepares the equipment, and the planning and merchandising teams work with Chan to coordinate the outfits. Dariam is completely absorbed in the project. She has become personally invested in making sure the fashion show succeeds. At the same time, Chan notices how hard she has been working. He learns that Dariam even went to the disaster site early in the morning to help protect the company's belongings. Although Dariam is only a new employee, she has shown an incredible amount of dedication. Chan is impressed. He eventually has to leave because of his own filming schedule, but he tells the CEO that he trusts her and the team to handle the fashion show. Meanwhile, Dariam gets an unexpected visit from her mother. Her mother arrives at the company with homemade food and side dishes, including Dariam's favorite jangjaram. Dariam is embarrassed because she is still wearing her messy work clothes after everything that happened. Her mother asks whether she really goes to work looking like that. But the moment becomes more emotional when Dariam realizes her mother still believes she works at her previous company, SC. Dariam has not yet told her mother that she left. Her mother even brought food to her old workplace without realizing the truth. Dariam feels guilty and emotional. Her mother reassures her that work and life can be difficult sometimes, but she will always support her daughter. The next day, the CEO becomes increasingly suspicious of Dariam after discovering that she previously worked at SC. He confronts her about leaving the office during lunch without reporting it. Dariam explains that her mother had come to her old workplace with food because she still believed Dariam worked there, so she briefly went to meet her. The CEO reprimands her for leaving without permission. He then tells all the new employees that they are no longer needed to support the fashion show and should return to their normal duties. Dariam refuses to give up. She asks if she can continue helping because she has been involved in the project since the rehearsal stage. But the CEO firmly tells her to step away. Dariam is hurt. She cannot understand why he suddenly seems so cold toward her. Meanwhile, the other employees begin wondering why Dariam cares so much about the fashion show. She explains that watching everyone work so hard at the disaster site made her determined to do everything possible to make the event succeed. That determination eventually pays off. The younger employees create a fun social media challenge to promote the online fashion show. When the CEO sees the video, he is impressed and allows Apello to upload it to the company's official social media. The challenge begins gaining attention. But then the CEO learns another important detail about Dariam. She previously worked for SC. Although she only stayed there for less than 2 months, she deliberately left the job off her resume because she worried such a short employment period might look bad. She had actually been waiting for an opportunity to join Apello because she felt that SC was not the right place for her. This information makes the CEO's suspicions even more complicated. However, there is no evidence that Dariam leaked anything. Eventually, the social media challenge takes off. And there is one major reason for its success. Chan joins in. With his enormous social media following, the runway challenge suddenly reaches a huge audience. Apello's app downloads increase, website traffic rises, and the online fashion show begins attracting serious attention. The marketing team continues monitoring the response. Then the big day arrives. Despite having almost no time to prepare, Apello successfully launches its online fashion show. The livestream attracts around 80,000 viewers. The emergency plan works. What initially looked like a complete disaster becomes a major success. The brands receive exposure, viewers respond positively, and Apello manages to protect its reputation. After the show, Dariam is overwhelmed with pride. She tells the CEO that she feels incredibly proud of what they accomplished. But then he asks her to make some time for him the next day because he has something to say. Dariam has no idea what he wants to discuss. Later that night, the CEO remains at the office while everyone else leaves. He is still thinking about Dariam. Meanwhile, he talks with someone about the possibility that he wrongly suspected one of his hardest-working employees of being an industrial spy. His friend immediately jokes about the situation and tells him that if the person he accused is a woman, he should apologize twice as much if she is pretty. The CEO knows he owes Dariam an apology. But apologizing is clearly not easy for him. He asks for advice about how to repair the relationship. Eventually, he tries to practice saying something nice to Dariam. He awkwardly tells her that she looks pretty. But when she asks what he means, he immediately panics and claims that he was talking about her mug. His attempt at an apology completely fails. Dariam then gets called away to the logistics warehouse, leaving him frustrated that he could not bring himself to properly apologize. The next day, however, Dariam continues working hard, and the CEO begins showing a softer side toward her. At the same time, Chan approaches Dariam. He tells her that he came specifically to see her because she never contacted him after the fashion show. He had been waiting for her. Since they are at work and surrounded by other people, he says he wanted to take her out for a meal somewhere more private. He asks whether she has been keeping her distance because he is technically her boss. Dariam insists that isn't the reason. Chan then asks for her phone number. Their relationship becomes more personal from there. Chan admits that he is surprised they actually met. Dariam tells him that she is only one of his many fans. But Chan points out that having millions of fans doesn't mean you will randomly meet one of them and form a connection. He becomes curious about why she became his fan in the first place. During their conversation, Chan opens up about his difficult school years. He reveals that he was a quiet student who didn't stand out. Eventually, he felt as though he had become invisible. For him, the worst part wasn't necessarily the bullying itself, but the people who watched without saying anything. He remembers wishing that even one person had simply spoken to him. Chan then sends a message to anyone currently going through something similar. Even if they feel completely alone, someone who will genuinely love and care for them can eventually enter their life. He tells them to hold on until then. Dariam clearly understands what he means. She later shows Chan her collection of DNX merchandise and reveals just how long she has supported him. She explains that his music helped her through one of the hardest periods of her life. Because of his songs, she managed to survive that difficult time and eventually made good friends and enjoyed the rest of her school years. Chan is visibly touched. He tells her that she did well and that she has grown up well. But then he jokingly asks whether that is really all she likes about him. Surely she thinks he is handsome, cool, or charming too. Dariam confidently tells him that, yes, she thinks he is all of those things. Chan tries to downplay his public image, suggesting that he could be completely different behind the cameras. But Dariam refuses to believe that. She tells him that she has supported him for 12 years and believes she knows what kind of person he is. Even if he spent years trying to appear like a good person, she says, the effort itself proves something about his character. She is proud of him. Chan is genuinely moved by her words. He thanks her. The two become even closer. However, Dariam has one request. She asks Chan to keep her status as his fan a secret. She does not want people at work to know. Chan agrees and even promises to grant her a wish if she keeps the secret. Meanwhile, Chan's fellow actor friends continue dragging him into work and filming. But their interactions also create more opportunities for Darium and Chan to spend time together. Eventually, Chan and Darium even film a challenge together. The playful atmosphere causes Darium to become flustered, especially because her feelings for him are clearly becoming stronger. Chan, however, is also beginning to show signs of jealousy and concern. He reminds her that they are at work and that people might start talking if they appear too close. The episode ends on a teasing note, with the two of them getting caught up in the increasingly complicated boundary between being a boss and employee, a celebrity and fan, and potentially something much more personal. By the end of episode 3, Darium has proven that she is not just another new employee. She has earned the trust of the Apello team through her dedication, helped rescue the company's fashion show during a crisis, and played a major role in turning a canceled outdoor event into a successful online show. At the same time, the CEO's suspicion toward her begins to fade as he realizes that she genuinely cares about Apello. And while the CEO struggles to apologize for misjudging her, Chan's relationship with Darium is moving in the opposite direction. He is actively seeking her out, asking for her number, spending personal time with her, and opening up about his past. Most importantly, Darium is no longer just a fan watching Chan from a distance. She has become someone he personally wants to know. And with both Chan and her boss becoming increasingly interested in her, Darium's work life and love life are about to become a lot more complicated.